Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this hollow Kumihimo braid, and I've just turned this one into a bracelet, but I'm just going to show you how to do the technique. And it looks like this. So it's a round braid, but it's quite a different technique than your usual round braid, and this has a nice hollow core inside of it, so you can use it for many other things where you want to put a core through it. So for example, you can put some wire through and then shape this however you want it to be, and it'll hold its shape because of the wire. So that's a really nice thing you can use this braid for. I'm just going to show you how to make this bracelet, but like I said, you can do whatever you want with yours. Use different kinds of cord and colours and all that. This is just to show you the technique. So I'm going to show you how to do this technique in this video, but I've also done a picture tutorial and I posted that on my website. So if you prefer to have a look at picture tutorials, or if you just want to have that to refer back to, I'm going to put a link to that in the description box so you can go and have a look at that as well. But otherwise, then let's get on with the tutorial. And these are the things that I'm going to use to show you how to make this braid. Now we'll need a round Kumihimo disc first of all, because this is made as a round braid. And then in this case, I'm just working with a selection of colours of my 1mm satin cord. And I've just got 4 different colours here, so black, a burgundy, a silver and a white. Obviously the colour choice and even the cord choice as well is completely up to you. And you can mix it up however you want. You can use loads of different kinds of cord or thread for this. This is just to show you the technique. And also I'm using 4 different colours here to show you the effect that you can get with that and how you can set up your cords differently. But you can easily just use less colours if you want to, or even more as well. So that's completely up to you. I'm just going to be using these 4 just to show you the effect that you can get. So then let's get all the materials together and then let's get started. So what I've done first is I've cut all my cord ready here, and what I have in total is I have 8 lengths of about 1 meter each, and I have 2 lengths of each colour. So 2 of the black, I have 2 of the burgundy, 2 of the silver, and then 2 of the white. And again, this is just how I'm going to work with it. You can make your colour variations completely how you want them to be. But we need to cut all these lengths, and the reason that I made them this long is because I'm going to be doubling over the cord. So I'm putting my ends together here, and then roughly where the middle is here, I'm going to put just a single knot, simple overhand knot, to just kind of hold all the cords together, and this is going to be the starting point. And then we're going to have in total 16 lengths of cord to work with. So now we need to take this cord, and then we'll take our disc, and we need to place this cord onto the disc. So the knot here goes in the centre, through that hole in the centre of your disc, and then we need to just distribute all the cords. And then this is where you want to put your cords to kind of determine what pattern that you want in your braid. I'm just going to show you how to set them up and how I'm going to have the final result of my braid to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to focus on my numbers, I'm going to kind of focus on the dots here just to give me a guideline on what's opposite. So what I'm going to do is start with one side here, start with the top dot, I put one black one on the left side of that, then I take a burgundy one on the other side of that same dot, and then I'm not going to move all the way down here first, we need to go in between the 2 dots first, and for that I'm going to take a silver one. So in this case I'm going around the number 4, it's just to get an even space between my dots, and then the last one is going to be a white one. So basically I've graduated my colours from the darkest to the lightest, and that's just how I'm going to do it. And then move to the next knot, the next dot, sorry. Again, start with my black, put that on the upside of the dot, and then the burgundy on the underside. And then in the middle between the next 2 dots here, I take my silver and then my white. And this is what I'm going to do all the way throughout. So we're distributing the cords like this. But like I said, you can place them however you want to sit, and that's going to then determine the final pattern on your braid. And then the black one along the bottom dot, burgundy, and the silver in the middle, and then the white. Just need to move them. There we go. And then the last one's the exact same thing, the black on this side of the dot, then the burgundy, and the silver and the white in the middle. So my board Kumihimo disc is now set up like this, graduating from the dark to the light, dark to light, dark to light, and dark to light. And like I said, just set them up however you want your pattern to be. You can easily experiment, putting your chords and your colours in different positions. And obviously as well, like I said, you can use more or less colours as well. So now that we have all the chords on our disc here, what we need to do is actually start the braid. Now I will also just say, in this case, I'm then working with 16 lengths of cord for this braid. You can easily change that up and make, because this is going to be a little bit thick braid, but it's just to show you how to do the technique. You can also work with 8 lengths of cord, for example, and it's going to make a much thinner braid, but it's the same technique. So that's completely up to you. I'm just going to be showing you with this. So the difference between this round braid and then a regular round Kumihimo braid is that normally you would be moving and turning a disc. In this case, we're actually not doing that. We're just kind of holding it in the position that it is. But what I'm going to do is start from the top. Again, just like any other braid, we have them split into pairs, and we're just going to kind of keep working with that. So my top dot here, the cords that I have up there, so the pair, the black one, which is the one on the left side, I'm going to take that and bring that over the one on the other side, and then go down to the next pair and place it right before that. So just to show you again, I take my top left one, jump over one, and then place it just before the next pair, like that. And then we move over one cord, so that means the middle one from the ones you now have here, so these 3. So again, the first one in that pair that was there originally, take this one, in my case is silver, jump over one, place it in the slot before the next pair. Move over one cord, so the middle one here, jump over one, place it before the next pair, and then the middle one again. Always grab then the one that's the middle one out of the 3 that you then have there, jump over one, and place it before the next pair. And you continue with this all the way around the braid, jump over one, place it before the next pair, the middle one, jump over one, place it before the next pair, and all the way back to the top. And the middle one, and then here you just place it in the empty slot that you took the cord from originally, so on this side of the dot, just like that. So now your disc looks a little bit something like this. So now what we need to do, we've gone this way around first, we then need to come back the other way. So we're going to start from the opposite side of that top dot. So the burgundy one in my case on the right side, go the opposite way, jump over one cord, place it before the next kind of pair that you would have here in the middle. Always just remember, jump over one cord, and then grab the very next cord, jump over one, even though you have a space, it's still jump over one, and then place it in between here, the next 2. Move one cord over, jump over one, and place it in between the next 2. The next cord, jump over one, and place it in your slot. So you always take your cord, jump over one, grab the very next cord, jump over one, grab the very next cord and jump over one, all the way back up to the top, just like this. And then we've reached this point. So now the disc looks a little bit confusing, but the top one is the original position. You have your cords right next to the top dot there. What we need to do now is reposition all the rest back into the pairs. So you just take your cords and move them towards the middle here. So you're forming your pairs again. You have one in between your 2 dots here, and then you need to get your cords around the dot on the side, just like that. And the next ones, bring them in to form a pair on the bottom. Take the 2 around the bottom dot. Just do this all the way around. So there's a bit of repositioning with this braid, with our cords. And we'll obviously have to do this every time we've done a section. So like this, and now we're back to basically what looks like the original starting point. We have all our pairs split into the positions where we put them originally. The only difference is some of the colours have changed place, but that's basically the technique. Now one thing that I just forgot to mention, and I'm not using it here myself because I'm working on top of a desk, so I don't really have much of space to work with, but normally you would kind of hold this further up and have a bit more free space underneath. I do recommend with this braid that you use some kind of weight ideally, because it's going to help you. You're going to then, this is just a Kumihimo weight, you just grab that onto the knot, and then it's going to help you pull down the braid in the middle there, because obviously it's a hollow braid, so if you just use your fingers you can squish it a little bit. It doesn't matter because you can just squish it a bit and then it'll come back out. It's no big deal at all. And it does become quite sturdy using these cords because they're weaving in and out of each other. But it's just a little thing I would say. You can also make up your own weight if you don't have one specifically for this. But that's what you're going to do then. So to start the next round, because like I said we're back at the starting position now, we'll just repeat the exact same step that I've just showed you. So the top left dot, next to the top left dot here, take my top left cord, jump over one, and then place it before the next pair. Grab the very next cord, jump over one, place it before the next pair, and just continue that. And now once you get the hang of it, you can go quite quickly. The only thing with this braid is it's quite easy once you get to know it, like this, back to the top again. You just got to be aware of it because it's a bit different than your regular round braid in your Kumihimo disc. That you just taking the right cords, jumping over the right ones, and then place them in the right position. So for instance, always remember, just jump over one, don't jump over two, because then that'll mess up the pattern a little bit. So as long as you remember that, you can kind of end up, once you got the hang of it, go a bit on autopilot. And then it kind of builds up quite quickly. And then back to the top, as you can see already. So now we need to reposition again. Get all the ones back into the middle so they form the pairs. All the way around the disc. And as you can see, now that I've gotten a little bit started, here in the middle you kind of have a little bit of a pattern going on, almost a bit of a flower pattern, the way the cords are crossing over each other. So also if that looks quite symmetrical, you're probably on the right track as well. But like I said, I recommend using a weight with this, just to help you along with the braid. And also, like I mentioned, you can do this with 8 cords instead of 16 like I'm doing. It's the exact same technique, you just have a bigger space to jump in between. So you won't have these here, you just use the dots. So that's how you make this braid. You just continue doing this until you reach the length that you want it to be. So I've now continued doing my braid until I reach the amount and the length that I feel is necessary. So what I'm going to do now is take this off the board and just do it gently. And the thing about this, because all the cords are interwoven like this, they're not just going to unravel straight away. That's why I just do it gently though and carefully, because they can unravel obviously. But they don't do it just by themselves. So just take it off gently, and then I'm just going to grab hold of them. And then here you can see at the end, this is what it looks like, and then you might be able to tell that you actually got space in there. So that's why it's a hollow braid. So if I just show you, I just have a piece of wire here, just a bit of spare wire just to show you. I'm just going to place this inside, and you can see that I can put this all the way through because it's a completely hollow braid. So that can be really good for certain projects. It can be quite handy that you can put something through, especially like wire, because then you can shape the actual braid and it'll stay in place exactly how you want it to. So that's an option as well with this braid. But then this is how it looks. As you can see, it's not just unraveling completely by itself, but I do just want to secure it in place, the end here. So I'm just going to grab them all the ends, and then just put a regular knot on the end here. An overhand knot just like at the beginning. And this is just to hold it in place until we finish off the ends. Just to make sure that while we're working with it and moving it, that's not going to come undone then. So this is how the braid looks. So then what we need to do now is finish off the ends. I'm just going to show you how to do one. Basically this is kind of like finishing off a normal Kumihimo braid as well. But obviously just because it's hollow, you can kind of squish this. If I show you, you can squish it and it kind of goes flat right there. But you can just put it back the other way and it'll come straight back out. so it's not like a really fragile braid anyway. But I'm just going to finish off the ends now. So the way that I'm going to finish off the ends is using these bell-shaped Kumihimo ends like this, and then also some glue, because we need that for the braid to stick into it. And I'm just using the E6000 for this. I prefer to use this for stuff like this where I finish off Kumihimo ends. And then what I'm going to do is just start out with a braid, and I'd get a toothpick as well, it makes it a little bit easier to work with. Get some glue on there, doesn't have to be too much because you can always add more. And then I start with the braid itself, and then where I want to cut it, so the length that I want it to be on one end here, just do one end at a time, and then we'll repeat the same on the other end. I just put some glue here around the outside, all the way around, just a little layer, doesn't have to be too much. And this is basically just to kind of seal the braid, the cords in place, so when I cut it off, they aren't going to unravel, and it's a lot easier to then handle. Just all the way around, just a little bit like this. And then you want to just leave that to dry. So now I've let it dry, so I can touch it now. It's not going to stick too much to my scissors that I'm going to get now. And then I'm going to cut right on where I've glued. So basically there's going to be a bit of glue on each side. That's going to hold all the cords. So just cut it over like that. And you have the end here, and as you can see, because of that glue, it's holding the end together without having to worry too much about it coming undone. And then we need to get the Kumihimo end out here, and these ones are about 10mm in the diameter, and they're going to fit these cords and then the amount of cords that I used perfectly right at the end here. And then also I'm going to get my glue again and my toothpick, get a bit of glue on there. Again, rather too little than too much, because it's easier to add than take away. And then I'm going to get my glue inside this Kumihimo end. And you want to make sure that it goes right to the bottom and then along the sides as well, so it gets distributed nicely. And you can always add a bit more if you feel it's necessary. So something a bit like this. And then when you're happy with it, all there's left to do is place the end of your Kumihimo braid inside of it. Just get all your cords in and then press it down. And then it's always a good idea to kind of move it around a little bit to make sure the glue gets distributed nicely on all sides. So just like this, and then that's your end attached, and then you obviously want to leave this to dry until it's completely dry, and you have both ends done. And then all that's left to do is attach whatever clasp you want to use. So I've now done that, attached my clasp, and then this is basically the final bracelet. It's obviously if you want to make it into a bracelet, but it's quite a nice braid that can be used for many different things. This was just to show you the technique, like that. So it gives a really nice effect, and like I said, how you put your cords and the colours that you use will give you different patterns. I quite like this one. So that's how you make this. Brilliant for different things, and because you have that core in there, or it's hollow, you can use it for so many other different things as well. So I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you very much for watching. Hello there everyone. Today I want to show you how to make this square Kumihimo braid. And this is what it looks like. So for this I've just used some rainbow satin cord, but you can also choose whatever colours you want and type of cord as well. But this is just to show you the technique, how to do a square braid. So you basically have 4 distinct flat sides to your braid.